I have a whole bunch of viewer-submitted styles here for you to try in Midjourney. Add these to the end of your prompt separated by a comma and you'll get some images like what you see here. And I want to thank all the people who submitted. I got some awesome styles this week and you guys are absolute legends. Now, first comment recommends using Designed by Ikea on some of these images. So I've got here Designed by Ikea, and as you can see, we've got a lot of Ikea furniture in this image, but we go to Pikachu, we've got a Pikachu themed sort of like furniture inside of a room. And of course we have the Incredible Hulk for those people who really need to cuddle up to a green muscly comic book character when they go to sleep at night, and the Terminator. I don't know how this works for the Terminator. It's more like Batman, but still very cool. And Goku, it's like a Goku beanbag, except it's actually being taken up by Goku himself. And a woman's face, kind of pieced together by by pieces of a flat pack and looking a little bit different. Now we have Labubu Biomechanical Cyborgian as a recommendation based off another style I showed a few weeks ago. So this is a little bit different, Labubu being a bit of a funny toy. That's what I found when I looked it up anyway. And the Incredible Hulk looking very much like a cyborg. It tends to have a really nice transformative effect on all the characters. They change just a little bit and then have that really heavy cyborg sort of style applied over the top of them. I really love this one at Batman. Looks just the grayscale looks pretty cool, and the woman's face. This nice, cool, shiny 3D look just makes for a really interesting image. But overall, this style tends to have a pretty interesting effect on the images that you apply it to in general. The next one builds off this Fractal Mandelbrot style I've shared in the past, adding bacteria art and also Amphipods. So I've got a few of these here. We're starting off with Fractal Mandelbrot Coral Bacteria Art, and it has a pretty interesting effect. It's similar to a lot of the other Mandelbrot or Fractal sort of styles I've shown in the past, but just adds a little bit more of a slightly different spin to the way it's presented. So overall, you get some really interesting and kind of trippy images. I think the car being made out of it makes for something really interesting, and the coral definitely adds something to it. And I love the way that we've created like a skull here for the Terminator. But if we add in the art inspired by Amphipods, which is another style I shared a while ago, then we can see here quite clearly that this is Batman. Well, you get the idea. Well, you can see that it's Darth Vader here, and that definitely has a very transformative effect, especially look at Pikachu. You can kind of tell that it's him. It tends to really be pretty heavy-handed in this transformation, although you can see this is a futuristic car here. But you'll see what I mean when you look at the Terminator. That's 100% the Terminator. You can't debate that at all. But moving on, I recommend you try Skeletonized in both the UK and USA spellings. So I'm starting off with the USA spelling with a Z on there, and we get some pretty interesting results. Batman here looking very deceased, like he's done fighting crime, and the woman's face. Cool skeletonized effect applied over the top. I love the way the lips kind of lift up like their teeth. Goku, a kind of cool skeleton version of Goku with the hair, and of course Pikachu, looking a little evil. Those teeth like he's about to bite your arm off. I find the Hulk gets a bit of a weird treatment here, but still a pretty cool effect. Whereas a samurai gets a nice skull mask on his samurai helmet, so a nice touch there. But Skeletonized in the UK spelling with an S. Once again, Batman, done fighting crime. He's been sitting there for a while. Love that the ears are part of the skull. And for some reason, Hulk looks more cybernetic here, but still an interesting impact. Whereas the woman has skull embedded in her face. She still has a normal nose. That was a pretty nifty effect. Similar effect with Pikachu, a little bit cleaner this time. But overall, I think this style tends to do the same regardless of which way you spell it, with some minor differences. Now, Darth Vader's lost a little bit of weight here, but I really like the way that's turned out. Whereas the Terminator's just himself, because he's already a skeleton, so very cool impact overall. So here I have someone asking about how to create coloring books of Midjourney and prompting for coloring books. So I highly recommend starting with something simple like black and white coloring book style, and you'll see how it applies the coloring book style to the images. There's a bit of detail in some of these, whereas Darth Vader, that one looks pretty good. You could use that one as a coloring book. Some of them get a little bit too detailed. Pikachu here, this doesn't look too bad, but overall you can experiment with this and get some pretty good results. And I'm going to break down a few more options you can try soon. But when you have it just a simple style like this, it tends to do a decent job. But switching to simple children's coloring book gives you much simpler results, much like the Terminator here. But not using black and white does add color into some of these images, and even when you use black and white, you'll get color sometimes. But this is just to show you that you do sometimes get color, but otherwise, that simple children's coloring book style tends to get you some simple results. So if you're actually looking to create coloring book type sheets for kids, that'd probably be the way to go. But coloring books are also for adults. There's a lot of adult coloring books out there. So we have Adults Intricate Coloring Book, and you'll see the amount of detail and the design of these coloring books looks a little bit different. The Hulk, again, a little bit too much to be used, so you do have to dial it back on some things. But Goku here looking very cool, and the designs just have a lot more detail. I imagine you could have a lot of fun really coloring this up. So it's a pretty easy to use style. Once again, if you really want to nail the black and white, add black and white into the phrase. But overall, I get some pretty good results without it here, as you can see. But you can also try different genres and styles of art. So I have Manga style coloring book. And you can see here, Darth Vader looks much the same as usual. A lot of these characters are interpreted much the same, but there's some bit of a manga style added to the Hulk here. And when you move on to the Terminator, the way that face is framed up, very manga style, reminds me of a lot of anime shots. And sometimes you will get this result too, but that looks pretty cool. The way Goku's sort of going, sort of punching there, and the car, a lot of detail, framed up like an anime film. But you can also add in shows. So I've got here the same black and white coloring book style drawn in Simpsons, and you get this cool Simpsons effect applied to it. Now that page can't really be used, but the Hulk here, that was just a really unique image. Goku, we get something a little bit different. At this stage, it's more of an interesting style than it is something you could probably use for coloring books, but you still get some images you can use. So I highly recommend checking that out and experimenting with it to see what kind of results you can get. And a prompt suggestion, dancing. So I've decided to try to start off with just straight up dancing, but then I explore a few other styles of dancing. So this is a bit of fun. Goku looks like he's really cutting it up, having a lot of fun. Whereas the Hulk, he's taken off to the club and he's really showing off his moves, ripped off the shirt, trying to impress the ladies. And Darth Vader is just dancing like no one is watching. Maybe no one is watching. But Terminator, I love the way the hands are up in the air. The way it animates these otherwise very serious characters is a lot of fun. The woman's face is kind of like a standard dancing photo, black and white, very nicely lit, whereas Pikachu just sort of has his hands up in the air, and he does for most of these images. But then I decided to try ballet dancing, because it does add something a little bit different. We move to Goku, and he's kind of doing a bit of a ballet movement, but when you get to someone like the Hulk, we get something very different. He is definitely exploring a side of him we haven't seen before. And same with Darth Vader. He's got the dress, and he's looking as elegant as ever. The Terminator, he's wiped out humanity and is now focusing on his ballet hobby. But then we also have hip-hop dancing, so something a little bit different again. That hip-hop style, a little bit more street. Goku going for it. He's got 3 fists for some reason, but still a fun image. Pikachu is dressed up with the hoodie, so he's looking very street with his dancing. And Darth Vader, the baggy clothes, he's really getting into it. I think that's pretty cool. And the Hulk again, he's just kind of looks like he's smashing, his arms twisted around. He's just kind of in the street. It's the Terminator again at the nightclub. Once again, before he killed Sarah Connor, he decided to go and have a bit of a dance. But now we have doing the salsa. So this one was interesting because it really changed the costumes of the characters. So here, and with Darth Vader, I don't know why he's wearing a dress again, but I love the way it just has a lot of fun with these characters. Once again, the Terminator's killed someone, and now he's killing it on the dance floor. Goku dressed a little bit differently, and of course, even Pikachu, he is dressed up a little differently with a scarf. So you can see how that's had a bit of fun. But belly dancing. Can't share a lot of these. A lot of these weren't really suitable to be displayed on video. But we have here Goku looking very built, long hair, like a woman. And of course, Darth Vader. Now you can probably start to guess why I can't show a lot of these on screen. A lot of them, let's just say, made it past Midjourney's filters. But it's a bit of fun just to see the impact it has on those images. So a lot of fun with belly dancing. I definitely recommend trying it out for yourself if you want to see what kind of crazy results you can get with this particular phrase. But otherwise, I've got someone here asking about jewelry and jewelry making. So relying a lot on the as phrase, so as expensive jewelry, we cut to Goku and we kind of got his hair as a necklace. And I thought that was a pretty cool interpretation. Whereas sometimes you get people just simply wearing the jewelry like the Hulk here, but it's still a pretty cool image. But we share the best stuff here. We've got Darth Vader as a necklace looking very expensive and just like a gold Terminator skull, like a really expensive paperweight. Pikachu, very kind of like diamond-studded necklace. I don't know who would actually be wearing it. But we also have then inspired by diamond jewelry if you want to really lean in to the diamond side of things. So This Goku, like, sort of diamond statue, pretty cool. Same with the Hulk, a bit of a diamond studded statue. It's hard to really get the Hulk to turn into jewelry, but things like Darth Vader's helmet. This must be the fancy helmet he wears to dances at the Empire. And, of course, the most expensive Terminator produced by Skynet. And back to simple jewelry pieces. This I thought was actually a really unique design for a piece of jewelry. Whereas this car looks like the most expensive car ever made. A diamond-studded car, which is pretty cool. And also as an engagement ring. So this is a style. If you want to come up with something to give to your loved one to show them how much you mean to them, pop an angry Hulk face on that ring. Let them know that you love them. Same again with Goku. If you want them to know that they're extremely powerful, you can pop a little Goku face on that ring, or even a Darth Vader diamond-studded shaped ring. So this one I thought was a lot of fun. As you can see the skull from the Terminator here. You can really throw a lot at it, and it seems to do a pretty good job of converting characters or objects like this car into a ring. So this one I thought was pretty cute, with a little diamond on top, probably the closest thing to an actual engagement ring. But also playing around with the mascot term. So he's listed a few here, and I'm going to get into them as well. As a sports team mascot. So we've got Batman here. He just looks like he's like a basketball mascot with the baggy pants on. Whereas Hulk, he's off playing gridiron or football, or rugby, out to basically smash like he normally does. Darth Vader looking a little bit more innocent, dressed in a jersey, logo on his helmet, and the Terminator. He's terminating baseball and really showing everyone how it's done with that laser-like focus. The woman's face was a little bit more innocent, a bit more standard, but still a good result. But I decided to get a little bit narrowed down, so I said as an NBA mascot to try and focus on a sport in particular. So Goku here, holding a basketball, looking like he's ready to step out and play. And the same with Hulk. His hair's messed up, really looks like he's out in the court playing, and Darth Vader kind of looks like one of those shots where he's about to throw the ball over his head backwards and try and get it in the ring. Whereas the Terminator, just like Guy, holding a jacket, holding a ball. Same again with Pikachu. He's got a singlet on, holding a ball. Pretty standard, nothing too exciting here, but still a lot of fun. As a breakfast cereal mascot, tends to sort of put these characters holding bowls of cereal. But a lot of them could be used. I could imagine a lot of these on like cereal boxes. I could see this one at the front, like, you know, like a Hulk brand cereal or Darth Vader brand Darkside crisps or something like that. The Terminator really went with the hair and the jacket to show that he's actually got cereal as part of his endoskeleton. And Pikachu, just eating a bowl of cereal. But the creepier one, as an amusement park mascot. So this was a little bit different. You got Goku as an amusement park mascot. This looks about what I expected from this phrase. Someone dressed up. Hulk looks like he's scaring the fun into children by jumping off of roller coasters at them. Whereas Darth Vader is just kind of watching, happy, cheering on. He's just out there walking around. And the Terminator, trying to pressure you into buying some goodies while you're there. Otherwise, he's going to terminate you. And of course, Pikachu just looking like a dressed up mascot. But I tried a few different ones myself, such as inspired by a cute furry mascot. And got some pretty unique images. So Goku here, it tends to convert people into furry, almost cat-like creatures. The Hulk looking very unhappy. That's a pretty cool image though. And Darth Vader, bit of a cat side to him, looking very cute, not very evil. Although the Terminator looks more like a cool terminating pup with sunglasses on. And Pikachu is just Pikachu. So that's a bit of fun with that one. But when you switch to the futuristic car, we get like a little furry mascot in the car. But another one for people who are looking for design and branding is a branding logo mascot. So this tends to create these nice little vector style mascots. Not always vector style, but in most cases it is. So we get some simple, solid sort of shapes, thick outlines, and that really kind of like vectorized style. I feel like you could pop these into vectorizer.ai and really actually use them as vector graphics. So it's very cool. And the woman's face I thought was really cool. Very simple, almost a single color logo, except the eyes are a slightly lighter color. Hulk here, a bit of a texture behind that just to dress it up a little bit. But Pikachu looking very cool, very much unexpected with that phrase. But moving on to the next comment, we've got a few styles here. So Bao Issey Miyake, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Tessellating tiles. I've tried a few variations of this. I have the full phrase here, which creates that style in the tessellating tiles. As you can see, it's a very consistent effect. It looks pretty good on the woman's face here. I thought it did a great job with that. But overall, it just applies that to your characters, and the metallic side of this actually made the Terminator a bit more interesting. And Batman, that simplistic sort of like yellow on black, I think looks pretty cool. But I decided to remove tessellating tiles to see what results we get just with Babao, Issey, Miyake, and I've got some different sort of images again. These are all very cool, very much unexpected, and the way that they kind of have a little bit of an angular sort of effect to them, it just modifies the character and the image in a unique way. So this one could be a lot of fun to play with if you're not really looking for that tiled effect. It's a bit of a paper mache look here, but overall, it's a lot of fun what it does to the character, to the actual subject. Makes it a bit different. But in the style of tessellating tiles, so going straight for those tiles, and we kind of get a similar effect again. This one's a little flatter, a little bit more bland, but you can see how the images are made up of those tiles. So if this is the type of effect that you want to play with and get some images out of, it could be a lot of fun, and it does do a pretty decent job converting that style. It's nothing too exciting. However, after Pikachu, I did try the futuristic car, and I thought that the way it created the car in pieces was a nice touch. Moving on, we have in the style of Rube Goldberg, who was a cartoonist, engineer, sculptor. He had a whole bunch of things he did. So you get a little bit of a mixed sort of bag of sort of parallel styles underneath this. We've got the more cartoony style here. And again, with Darth Vader, a bit more of a cartoony style, but a little bit of that inventor and engineer side does creep through sometimes. But I find it's a little bit mixed. Like I said, I've got mostly cartoonist ones so far, but the actual style of the car here is very fun. I do recommend playing with that a little bit. But this is a hidden gem in the style of Heath Robinson, another cartoonist, excellent style of imagery, has a very consistent style from image to image, but adds some interesting sort of elements around the character. I really had a lot of fun seeing what this style came up with. And I did two really awesome Darth Vader images I thought I'd share here. Just the style, the way it's laid out, the way the Terminator looks here. It's just so unique and a very cool style, and definitely one that I'm glad that was recommended. So definitely check out in the style of Heath Robinson for something unique. Moving on, we have Hyperlapse style. So a little bit more, this has a bit of a zoomy type effect on a lot of the images. Not every image, but most of them. You can see we've got this whole zoomy effect on Goku. Same thing again on Darth Vader. However, we do get something a little bit different when we switch to the Terminator. Just kind of like staring at a pile of flames. So it has a bit of a zoomy effect on the Hulk, but in a different way. And of course, the futuristic car has another zooming kind of like effect. So you can see kind of what to expect with this style. And sometimes you get a few little different things like we do here with Pikachu. But the last style is Featherfolio style. So this is a great job of adding feathers to the subject. So you can see here, Batman's kind of like, it looks like feathers, but it's actually little bats. But you can sort of get how Pikachu, he's got feathers here, which I thought was a really unique touch. And Darth Vader never disappoints. He's got feathers coming out of his helmet. Something really cool. And the Terminator has kind of got like feather-like hair in a way. But we switch to the woman's face, and we've got some feathers in there. So you can see how it adds some feathers and modifies your character to look interesting with that Featherfolio style. Otherwise, those are the viewer-submitted styles for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, please consider giving the video a like. And big thanks to everyone who submitted. If you have more styles you want to recommend, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. See you later.